chess is material and energy, material and force. That's what it is. All right. Your chess pieces don't become real. They don't become real. Ooh, let's talk about what is real. They don't become real until they are approaching their maximum kinetic energy. Potential is nice. Oh, I could become a real piece. Let's take a look. Let's get real, y'all. Let's get back. Let's get to the chessboard now. We're talking. This rook is garbage. This rook right here. This rook garbage. Until it gets in the game, these rooks are garbage. They only have potential. All right? They only have potential until they get in the game. All right? These pieces, all these, they're not doing anything. If you just leave them back here, they're garbage. That's why we say develop your pieces. Get your pieces out. Control the center so you can control more space. All right? Now this knight is starting to approach even more potential. It's hitting a pawn. A knight on e5 would be great. A knight deeper in the camp is even sweeter. Okay? Now, let's just make a few moves. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to castle. Now this rook is approaching its potential. It's starting to get more into the game. This is what you're after. You are trying to. This rook is garbage until it becomes real. So that's the problem. Is we often learn early on about material and we get materialistic. When we say a rook is worth 5, a pawn is worth 1, a bishop or a knight might be worth 3, maybe the bishop's worth a little bit more, the rook is worth 5, the queen is worth 9. Once you got those numbers in your head, you are a complete slave for a long time to this materialism. Just a complete slave. This has nothing to do with this. It has something to do with chess on the average chess position. But how many chess positions are not average? The average is right here, okay? But then you start exploring beyond the average, and today we're going to go over a lot of those, all right? And you're going to see that potential being realized is far more important than potential unrealized. And that's why you can sacrifice a pawn to improve the pieces, to make them better, but also to make your opponent's pieces worse. And that is the combination. That's the real magic right there. Okay? So that's what's up. That's what's up. Chat is very chatty today, Michiko. I got to say, chat is feeling good, and I'm glad. I'm absolutely glad. And we're going to get into it. So guess what? We've been doing enough talking. Yeah, folks are real chatty, and I'm enjoying it because I'm a talker myself. You didn't notice that I talked? Okay, yeah, right. Once or twice. I say a couple of words from time to time. Yeah, okay. Let's get into some chess as we are going to switch now from all the chat, from all the announcements, from all the like, and we're going to get into some fun chess today or right now for you guys to learn some stuff. All right, and we're going to do some puzzles. We're going to do some nice puzzles. All right. We're going to bend the laws of chess. Matter of fact, let's start with puzzles. Since we're talking about materialism in chess, I want to start with a puzzle. All right. So this puzzle right here, we're going to start with this one right off the jump. Now this one, we're bending the laws of material and force in chess. Yeah, Maurice talking. Who knew? Right? You're right, Maurice. Come on. Maurice probably talks in his sleep. Well, I haven't been told that by anyone who has been in the room while I was sleeping. Let's just call it that. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Just keep it PG. But no, I've never been told that I talk in my sleep. But I wouldn't doubt it. If somebody said, Maurice, you are commentating chess games in your sleep. Do you know that? I'd be like, yeah, it was a good game I was dreaming about. So that's why I was commentating on it. Okay? So I'm just saying, talking is in the Ashley family and in the Ashley blood. For real. But let's take a look at this position. It is White's turn to move and draw. White's turn to move and draw. Now, this position is a puzzle by Georgiev, 1936. So it is a study, but it's the kind of thing where we learn from these studies, okay? Black is about to queen a pawn. White's in trouble. White cannot stop this pawn from becoming a queen, which will be an overwhelming material advantage. So black must play the move, white, excuse me, must play the move c6 and hope and pray. All right. Now black says, good for you. I've got a queen on the board. And now c7 with check. Now black dare not go to c8 because we're going to play knight e7. I'll just put it on the board. And then we will get our queen, and you have to trade that off, and we get the draw we're looking for. So that doesn't work. But after the move c7 check, black can move in the corner. All right? And that's that. Black is now in the corner, and black's queen is ready to help out to attack this king, and at some point bring this king up to guard the square, and you're going to get toasted for real. All right? Toasted. So, I said toasted. What should white do now? I'm waiting for somebody to let me know. And bam! Couple of folks have spotted it. Indeed, the only way to save this game is to hit a queen. All right? Queen on the board. That absolutely must be captured. Now knight c7 check. King to b8. Knight a6 check. And despite having only a knight versus a queen, the game is drawn by repetition of moves. Unless, of course, black decides to have had enough and decides to take the piece. And that is a draw. A nice little geometric right here. Right here with king to a8 to now promote and then show that is a draw. Okay? Now, I'll point out that there are some people who saw this puzzle and saw the solution really quickly. Feel that it's an easy puzzle. Too easy for you. Too easy for you. There are going to be puzzles, for example, Kogat, since you said that, there are going to be puzzles I put here that you're never going to solve. That you're going to be like, oh, damn. And somebody else is going to go, that's easy. Let's go to the next one. And you're going to be like, wait, I don't see that one. So that's why you got to be a little bit patient with folks who may not see as quickly as you do. All right, don't be like, nah, we don't want to see this anymore. It's all about me. No, it's not all about me or all about you. It's about everybody who's watching. And some people didn't see this idea. So we'll go over these things and explain it, carefully so that everybody on the chat can appreciate. All right? So remember that for real. Now, let's get to one. Let's go to the next level. Oh, gangster would be to ask for a rook. I agree. Asking for a rook, smiling. But, it's pretty similar. I'm wondering if really gangster would be asking for a bishop. Like you go here and say, let me get a bishop. Yeah, that's gangster. You get your head handed to you after the king moves, and you can't get it again. So yeah, that would not be wise, indeed. All right, so clearly you must ask for a rook. All right, let's go on to the next one. This one. Now this one, I'm gonna tell you, nobody sees in 4 seconds. Nobody sees this in 4 seconds. Can you show me why king to e7 doesn't work? Or is it knight to e7, you mean? Right? Because you put a K instead of an N. So let me go back to that puzzle that we just looked at, because an important question was asked. I guess you're asking, why does a knight, which you have to put a capital N for knight, why does a knight to e7 work? Well, here you're asking for it. Here you're asking for it because at some point, you get the feeling like this king is going to, let's get it. Well, the king has to stay next to the pawn as well. That's going to be the secret. So check, you have to stay. I'm going after this pawn, right? So check, you can play here. And now this move with the idea of going here and here. And things just got tricky. So there's going to be, remember, the pawn is what he's going to go after, the black queen is going to go after, not the knight. So at some point, you're going to be forced to do what this is done right here. At some point, you're going to have to defend the pawn, And then when this check happens, you're going to have to try to save everything, all right? Because we're going to try to win the pawn by itself with a queen check like this one. That's what's going to happen as the queen comes up, all right? So that's what the trick will be in that position. All right, let's go to the next one. This one here is white to move and draw. This position is white to move and draw. Now, the moment I saw this position, I'm going to say, within seconds, I knew what the idea was. But I had to figure out exactly how to do it and make sure it worked the right way. I went, there's only one way to draw, right? I looked at the position, my eyes went, there's only one way to draw. But then I had to calculate it and say, okay, but there are two ways for black to try to win, and how do they both work, and how does the timing work? And it took me a little while to time it out, all right? So a lot of you are spotting what the idea is, but now you have to find the right move order, because the right move order is huge, all right? How do you do it exactly? And then there's going to be a variant that you have to also calculate as well. So now I see the move King G6 and H7. But the moment you say King G6 and H7, you realize there could be a problem. All right? There could be a problem. And now folks are pointing out the possibility of King to F6 first. So let's try King G6 right away, because the only way to draw, the king's not going anywhere and this pawn is too fast. So if you play King G6, the pawn runs. You play H7, the pawn runs. You hide in the corner, the pawn pushes. And suddenly you have to come back out upon queens. And yeah, you go back in and you get mated. And if you had decided to run away, then all gobbly time and that's it. All right? So the timing mattered in this position. King G6 is a huge mistake. The first move has to be King to F6. Timed well. All right? Timed well. King to F6. Now, here's the deal. Push. King here. Now comes the variant. You could push if you want to. You could push. But what if black plays king over? Now how do you play? Now what do you do? The king decides, I'm not going to just push my pawn. I'm going to move the king over and force you to waste a little time or spend a little time playing in this position, right? Now I'm getting a lot of guesses. King G5, King F6, King G5, H7 still, King F6 again, King G5, all right? Now there's no consensus. I'm noticing there's no consensus. What's the right way to play here? King F6. All right, we're going to start with a serious blunder. King F6 is a big mistake. King F6 loses on the spot because now King H7 and you're done. You never get this pawn to push. This pawn becomes a queen. So sorry, guys, King F6 does not work. All right? Now, King F5 is suggested. Well, of course, if you play King F5, I have to push the pawn. And now you get to go back to G6. All right? Now I go back in the corner. Now what? Now I go back in the corner. And it looks like you guys have caught the timing. Now H7, pawn up is forced, king over, and that's it. Now you get the draw. So King F5 works. We'll also point out, by the way, instead of King F5 here, H7 also works if the king moves. King here, and the timing actually here is still perfect. Why? Because king here, pawn up, king over, pawn up, and again, king in the side, and it's still a draw. So the king moving actually didn't change anything. There are multiple ways to skin a cat if the king moved. So as long as you found King F6 first, and then you played King G6, and then you push, and then king over, and we get the draw. The key was the move King F6. How many of you would have played that in a real chess game? That's another question entirely. But the slick move there was king f6. All right, let's take these puzzles to the next level, this level. All right, this level here. It is white to move and win. White to move and win. What if they underpromoted? To a rook, it's still a draw, folks. And to a knight or a bishop, it's just a draw. All right, let's get to this one. White to move and win in this one. Now, this one and one of the previous ones came out of the book, One Knight Saves the Day, all right, by Tukachenko. I've talked about this book before. One Knight Saves the Day. It's a great book. Make sure you get it. I want to give credit to the author. One Knight Saves the Day. Great, great book. Now, it is white to move and win. White to move and win. All right? So, king b8 and you promote with check. But promoting with check is not going to be enough. Promoting with check is not going to be enough. Let's see who can tell me the key move here. The key move in this position. The key move in this position is what? What's going to be the key later move? The later move that's going to get this win. That's going to get a win. What's the key move? And I'm seeing king d6, king knight d6. I don't want the key move at the beginning. I want the key move at the end. The key move at the end of this that wins. All right? What's the key move that will get it done, that wins? And it's a spectacular key move, folks. The key move I'm looking for is amazing. It's just like beastie. Knight c7 is a good move, but it's not quite the key move I'm looking for. So far, nobody has played the move that's like the monster key move. The key idea at the end of this, not at the beginning, not in the middle, but at the end that gets it done. That gets it done. All right? Winning the pawn. Turtencom, you said winning the pawn. All right. Elfins and Turtencom, I think you might mean something different. Winning the queen is what you might mean. All right. Now a couple of folks have spotted it, so I'm going to go with it. The key move is going to be to sacrifice the white queen for mate. That's the key. Sacrifice the white queen for mate. In this ending, is going to be sacrificing the white queen in order to deliver checkmate. And here we go. You might say, whoa, how does that work? Well, here's how it works. King to b8 is the first move, threatening, of course, knight to c7 with mate. You've got, and also, of course, white's trying to promote. So black has to get out, leave, run, attack the pawn. The pawn goes to c7. Now black says, hey, looks like I'm going to promote as well. White promotes to a queen. Black says, hey, I have a queen too. Your knight and queen are not enough to win. But it is in this moment that white plays this special and spectacular queen to a6. Come back to the party, folks. Hello, where you think you're going? Skewy, my newie. Give me your queen. And if you take, then knight to c7 is Matutski. Game done. Now that is clean. That's sweet. Short and sweet. We like it, just short, sweet, and brilliant. Just really, really nice. For those who spotted it, kudos to you. For the rest of us, hey, nice. Nice checkmate with the knight. Okay, Linear Stork, well done. Beautiful, beautiful mate on the board without the pawn. You had knight. What's interesting is after king to b8, folks, knight c7 was mate without the pawn. All right, the threat of knight c7 is just a straight mate. You don't need the pawn to mate. So when you get to this position after the queen comes, then you still have the move because you don't need the pawn to mate. There's so many checkmates in chess. It's just incredible. A king and a knight, all you needed was these two pawns to be where they were, and this is another checkmate. And that's it. Why can't the pawn capture the knight? Well, the black pawn's going down the board because A1 is here. This is the first rank. So if you try to play pawn takes knight, the computer would not let you. All right? Okay, king to B5 is not forced. Well, king to B5 may not be forced, but my question to you is what else can you do? If you play B5, I push, you push, I get a queen and say check. You never queen. I check you, and then I mate you. So, if you don't try to run with your king, you're going to die, period. All right? King here not only threatens mate, it threatens push, push. So if you want to waste your time and play a move like B5 or A4, then this pawn queens with check, and then this one is dead. So you could push and then push. Oh, it's not mate now, but we'll take your pawn from you, and then we'll take care of the game. Okay? And that's that. So that is that. 3 puzzles. Had a little juice to them. Had a little spice. A little warm up. A little warm up. This is, you know how this stream is. I warm you guys up, get the brain cells clicking before we get to the real deal crazy positions. And we now done with our puzzles. Thank you very much, David Sanders. Much appreciated. It's not spectacular, so you can spoil the spectacular sacrifice with B5. You're not spoiling anything. The problem is not whether or not white wins in spectacular fashion. The problem is white to move and win. That's the only problem. This is the only problem. You don't lose again. Oh, at least you ain't sack your queen and checkmate me. I mated your behind. That's what mattered. I mated you. It don't matter how spectacular it was that I mated you. Mate! Did you hear the word? Mate! Okay? The game is over. It doesn't matter if, oh yeah, you spoil it. No, we don't play those games. Who wins? White to move and win. The moment white establishes a win, it's over. There's no more puzzle. Yes, it could be beautiful. Yeah, sometimes. And other times, you just beat the guy. Boom! I just beat you up. It's over. All right? So that's what's up.